do you think that was the moment for you when you became more interested in journalism ethics as
Yeah.
opposed to just making decisions on the fly?
Yes, that's true, because I did get involved in that, and then somehow it came out, it developed that I became the go-to person when a staff member had a situation that may or may not be contrary to the code, and they couldn't find a clear direction in the code. The word of mouth was, go see Gene. And so we would sit down and we would work together and try to extrapolate what we had in there and make a decision as to whether that's good, something we could live with or not. And as I try to say in the book, a code can't cover everything, but it does set a tone, and it does give you a basis for making extensions of what it is in there. And I must say the staff was very much in favor of this. They felt that their reputation was tarnished by what Laura did, and living down the Annenberg years with Harry Carafin and all, and they felt that their reputation, as well as the papers, was being strengthened by a strong code that was diligently enforced. And so that's how I really got more involved in that, and we moved from there into writing a news code on how to cover the news, such as you don't put triple exposures to show blackbirds, and that sort of thing would be specifically ruled out, that manipulation of photographs. So we would add those as we would go along.
Did the Inquirer report on any of those efforts as, sort of the fallout or the aftermath of the Foreman scandal?
We reported on the Laura case, but
I mean, that the Inquirer had now adopted a code of
no, we
ethics,
did not.
or,
and I think today we would, and I think today we'd post it on our website, like as the New York Times does. I think it's really good that a matter of disclosure and being responsible and accountable to the public. If you say, here are the standards that we try to hold ourselves to, and by certainly by inference, they can conclude that they ought to hold us to that. And I think the bloggers would really enjoy that. That they can have maybe bookmark the Inquirer code. If they see something we did that was against that, they would have ammunition right there. But we were going through a period there where the lawyers were nervous about putting standards in writing, and much less in public. And their thinking was that if you have here are published standards, then we did something differently, either through ignorance or by design, that in a libel suit, that a plaintiff's lawyer could say that you're negligent by your own standard. And I guess that concern still is out there, although I don't know of many cases, if any, that's happened. But I understand how they're concerned. But so the lawyers worked with us to write the code. The shall, you will, or you shall became, in most cases, we should, and things like that. So they tempered the language. We still got the point across. And I knew our lawyers were very good, and so they helped us. They knew we wanted to publish that, and they accepted that. And so they helped it in a way that they could defend if they found themselves in court, which I don't think they ever have. But they were partners in doing that. But I think you're right. If we were today, we would put it on the website. If we're going to have it at all, we ought to be willing to put it out there.
Well, because I'm curious to know what the public's role would have been, if any, in any big journalism ethics scandal. How much did you hear from your readers? Like with the Foreman, the Laura Foreman scandal, for example. I mean, was there a lot of public outrage, in the form of letters to the editor and so on, or is this kind of inside baseball stuff where people in the journalism world think it's a problem, but the public, either doesn't care that much or just figures, oh, that's just business as usual in journalism, and they didn't really expect journalists to be all that ethical in the first place?
I don't remember a whole lot of feedback from the public. I think today we would get a lot. But we, on the Laura Foreman case, Gene had Bartlett and Steele write an investigative piece that ran to a huge number of pages in the paper, and that Roberts didn't get to edit. He didn't see it till it was in the paper. And of course, that technique has been used several times. The Jack Kelly case at USA Today. David Shaw did that at the LA Times on Staples Center. And of course, the Times did, New York Times did it on the Jason Blair case. So we kind of set the standard there too. I'm not sure how many people read that, but it was a very thorough, if Bartlett and Steele did it, you know it was going to be thorough, and it was.